Yo, welcome back, guys. Let's go over today's New York session. It's Monday, September 15th. We are halfway through September. I'm not gonna lie, it's been kind of a slow month. I haven't caught a lot of trades. But regardless, let's see what we got going on here. We actually just made new all-time highs on gold, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, okay, let's go over this. So New York session this morning kind of started off with this candle right here. So again, step one, identify higher time frame bias. So am I looking for long? Am I looking for shorts? Overall, 4 hour is still bullish, so I'm still looking for longs. Ooh. The most recent 4 hour order block, man, we've been marking this up for like a solid week and a half now. This order block right here, it hasn't been tapped into. These are the same markings from Friday, I want to say. So overall, we are pushing up, right? We're pushing up from this liquidity grab here. So I want to just peep the 1 hour and see where we're sitting. 1 hour is also bullish. This candle right here, I remember it's the first break. All right, let's just put higher time frame again. Higher time frame 2. If you want to make sure, as you can see, that is a bullish candle, so that does count as a break. So higher time frame confluences, we have this 1 hour or 4 hour order block, 4 hour liquidity grab, only 1 hour. We are still respecting this order block here. And then at this point, so this is where I kind of jumped down to the 15-minute, and I was like, price is consolidating quite a bit. So most probable thing is, at the time, I think this was a 1 hour liquidity grab as well. I wanted price to come down into this area, take out all this lower resistance liquidity, tap into this order block, and then from there I'd look for an entry, right? What ended up happening was I actually ended up kind of missing out on a setup. I didn't see it at all, to be honest, because I was just more so focused on like prices consolidating. I wanted to have a clear liquidity grab and an OB tap before I look for an entry. But I'll kind of show you what ended up happening. It was actually like, now that I look at it, it's like really obvious. So according to our fractal rules, we can go back roughly an hour and a half to 2 hours, right? So 5 o'clock right here, this is where we had on our entry time frame, right? This is where we had our first break in our structure. Here's our second break in our structure. Liquidity grab was taken from here, as well as here. And then all that's left is the PA level. Order block was respected right here, right? As well as tapping back into the 1 hour order block. Because we were already, you know, from London, we were kind of already tapping into it. And then as you can see, liquidity grab, tap back into it, and it just takes off. Let's say it didn't tap into this 1 hour, we could still take this because, you know, overall we're just bullish from this reaction. Man, my neck hurts so bad. Entry, let's say we could have gone off of the 5-minute candle closure, you know, maybe done 35 pips or ticks. This would have been fine. 1-to-1 achieved within one candle. That's nice. And then full TP right there. Just want to check the 1-minute EMA entry. Yeah, most likely it would have been that 5-minute candle closure, or the retest of this EMA. And again, I would have remembered from last week to be a little less generous with the stop loss, make it a bit tighter. As long as it covers the body, then we should be okay. So I think 35 would have done well in this case. Now, that is what I missed out on. Man, September I've just been missing out on setups a lot, can't lie. But let's show you what from here. So I didn't really see this until like it happened afterwards. I was like focusing on a different setup already. Like what I was thinking is okay, it tapped into the 1 hour order block. This was my first break here, because I also wanted fresh fractals because of the consolidation. So I started to base my stuff off of here. And then we have second break. So at this point, after we broke up here, I was like, okay, this is liquidity grabbed here. If it grabs from the swing, that's fine as well. But I need an order block tap. So the closest order block is this one right here, right? Or I could look at the 15-minute, same thing. Price grabs liquidity, pops up to the upside without tapping an order block, so I move on. So from here, now it's like I'm focusing on this leg, right? So I think at one point though, I was observing we were able to take a counter trend as well. So these 4 hour swing highs, you know, I was looking for the opportunity to counter trend. Yeah, so right here is where we could have started looking for it. So I was like, okay, I could counter trend down to here, or if price doesn't give me the opportunity, if it comes down here, I'll continue my longs, right? So at this point, I said, okay, here's my break for my counter trend. Here's a one liquidity point. I'll just clone this. Second liquidity point, and of course the liquidity point up here. Now I believe it was actually this candle right here where it grabbed liquidity and I was ready for an entry, but it just never came back down, right? And in terms of continuations, it also never really continued to come down to here as well, because it grabbed liquidity here. Like you could say that this, if you're looking at a continuation setup, this was the liquidity grab and the order block was right here, right? Never tapped into the order block. So when price broke to the upside, I just wanted to continue to look. I just wanted to continue to look for continuation setups, because overall, again, we're bullish, right? So, oh shit, I deleted the wrong stuff. I feel like I'm gonna get carpal tunnel with my wrist right now. Too much marking up. Where were we? Right here. BIF 2. Liquidity grab. Mark up another one. Okay, so at this point, we broke again to the upside. So this is our third break in our structure. So at this point, I have to be careful on the pullback, right? So the moment price pulls back and breaks twice, I now have to look for fresh fractals. What ended up happening again was, price created a new break-in structure. So at this point, I was still open to longing as long as we only had one pullback to grab liquidity and a PA level, and then I would long it. What ended up happening is price just completely continued to run, taking out all-time highs. And that's pretty much it. So again, to kind of recap, missed this setup here because we were kind of in a consolidation. I wanted to see a liquidity grab, tap into an order block, and then take off. So missed this setup, even though it's still valid because it pushed off the 1 hour order block, continued to be bullish. Liquidity grab, typical entry. This setup, liquidity grab was there, no order block. This setup, liquidity grab was there, no order block. Counter trend had everything except for the price action level close. And then the continuation breaks in our structure, just no liquidity grabs at all. Now, one thing to note, I think I performed pretty well today. You know, I got up on time, uh, adapted to the market in terms of like continuation, counter trending, really paying attention to what was going on. One thing that I would like to work on though is I'm noticing when I'm coming into the market, when I look at the higher time frame, I look at I look at it and I say I want this to happen next. As in like I want it to do a specific thing, right? Like for example, today it's like I wanted it to come down to this order block, take out this liquidity. When in reality, what I should just be doing is observing where price is currently at and just reacting off of that instead of waiting for something to come, because it may come, but you know, like today, like it might not come at all, right? Like let's just react off of what we're already seeing, right? So in that case today, instead of like saying, hey, come down to this order block and, you know, take out this liquidity and then I'll look for my entry. While my entry was actually already happening and I wasn't paying attention to it because I wanted something else to happen. In this case, again, right, like we already tapped into the 1 hour order block. And even if I didn't like this tap, you know, because I prefer to see a reaction off of a higher time frame confluence, which is why I typically wait, right? But in this case, again, we should just be reacting. We were already bullish. You know, we have the liquidity grab here, and it still tapped into the 1 hour order block. So this was a very valid setup. The only thing is it grabs liquidity before 6:30, which is it's recommended to grab liquidity after 6:30 for higher probability. This is still valid, but your win rate might go down a little bit. So this is more of a, you could say, advanced or veteran kind of trade in this strategy. But yeah, regardless, I think today was a good trading session. Sucks that we missed this. I think also maybe 6:15 I should start analyzing instead of like 6:25, 6:20. But yeah, so we'll come back tomorrow strong. We'll see what happens then, and yeah, we'll catch you guys then.